Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hagmania. I'm joined by Ben Creighton for Game 2 of a doubleheader here between Kohrek and Bonta. Ben, how are you today?
Man, if I was good enough to be playing against Kohrek and Bonta right now, I'd be the happiest man in the room.
These two runners are exceptional. Bonta out of Group Z with a 4-1 record, taking a one seed, one of the one seeds out of here, and then Kohrek out of Group H with a 4-3 record. He was grabbing one of the two seeds out of the group stages here. So Bonta was victorious in a close game one that was just a tile room gamble apart last game. Ben, did you were paying attention last game, right?
Yeah. Lots of interesting pendant dungeon item placements. We had one bow in Ice Palace, another bow on Landmos, a couple of silverless Ganon fights. It was a good race.
That's right. We're hoping for more of the same. In the words of the immortal Ernie Bakes of the Chicago Cubs, hey, let's play two. I'm ready for this doubleheader to start. We should be getting ready to go in any moment now.
Yep, and Kohrek, having come in second in that last race, got the option to change one of our tournament settings. I believe he changed the world state from open to standard mode, meaning we'll see a mirrored escape sequence here in a few minutes.
That's right. I wonder if that's just to kind of clear his mind of the loss. And oh, here we go.
I'm a big fan of ooh, we got an early fire rod here in Uncle's house.
All right, Ben, why would you choose a standard escape after a loss?
You know, I like standard mode. As a viewer, I like seeing the diamond shape that a randomized seed can take, where it starts out identical, opens up, and then collapses back in on Ganon. I feel like it's a change you make just to kind of make the change, just to switch things up just a little bit. But I'm not sure if there's much more reasoning to it than that, other than maybe just not wanting to worry about when do I route in escape.
So Fire Rod and Bow, right off the bat here, we're looking pretty weaponized. With 50 rupees and some magic under the pots, our runners are now going to head into escape. Of course, Ben, we'll be looking for bombs. Is that correct here in escape?
Yeah, we'll see if our runners decide to farm some of these enemies hoping for bombs, or whether they just stick with opening chests and hoping, but we're going to want to hope to find at least one so that they can grab the backside of escape before leaving. And sure enough, we see Kohrek farming these green guards. Someone in chat pointing out that the prize pack that we've seen should have a bomb coming up a little later in the pack. So if Kohrek keeps up farming these enemies, he should be in good shape there.
Well, I'm glad you guys got it straight. I am a fan, a very casual fan that likes to commentate. So I'm glad you guys have got the bomb packs all straightened out. And here we see them heading on down towards the downstairs and try to make it to Zelda's cell here. Alright, so yes, if you're just tuning in, we're 2.5 minutes in, and this is a standard start chosen by Kohrek, who was the loser of the first race here that just happened, just started an hour and a half ago. And now we're going to see the ball and chain guard.
Blink and you miss him, though, because with those arrows to just mow him down in 4 shots, he did not last long, as we find a nice blue goo in Zelda's cell. Won't have to worry about getting Sick Kid into the mix.
That's right. It's always nice when you can get a convenient Kakariko all in one there. Just get a few more rupees and that flute, and we'd be just kind of an all-in Kakariko.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll have to worry too much about rupees. Already at 70 this early in the game, all you really need for Kek is 100 for Bottle Merchant. 50 if they wind up having to buy bombs.
Well, let's hope that's not the case here. They can get these checks here in Dark Cross and the back of Escape all sorted out. Kohrek, let's see if he's going to keep farming for those bombs. Didn't get any. No dice.
Yeah, for those who aren't sure how item drops from enemies work in this game, it is a 50-50 shot that any given enemy will drop an item from their prize pack, and those last couple that Kohrek opted to kill just being very unfriendly with the coin flips.
So we've got our key heading into Dark Cross, so we should be looking at an item here. And Bonta gets a bomb. And so does Kohrek. Piece of heart there in Dark Cross, and we'll get to see back of Escape here, so long as we can avoid the perils of ropes and rats here in the Escape sewers.
One more rat needs to go down to give us our small key, and we're going to proceed on to the backside of Escape. Both of our runners switching over to bombs to check the 3 items here on the left.
We have the map, 10 arrows, and the red boomerang. And a couple more bombs for Bonta, so maybe he won't have to buy any in Kakariko. That's a heart container in sync, as our runners are gonna both continue on, head over towards Kakariko, and looks like I saw a pendant on Hera, a red crystal on Desert, and a regular crystal on Eastern.
Both of our runners opting to go straight into the Lost Woods. Nobody deciding to go north for that lumberjack check quite yet.
Yeah, you won't need it until you get the boots anyway, so I suppose that's why they didn't check it. Hey, with Fire Rod, full magic pull, a tree pull, and speaking of the boots, what are those?
I always love seeing early boots in a seed. They just unlock so much fun tech for our talented runners to show off for us today. Kohrek, still looking for bombs, takes the time to check that bush crab, but only arrows today.
Alright, we're heading into the plethora of checks offered by Kakariko. We're going to start off here in Blind's Hut.
And it looks like Kohrek will be heading towards Lumberjack. Let's see if that extra information yields us anything interesting. And I do believe I spied a shovel there.
Oh, damn
Not
if you do,
helpful.
damned if you don't.
Nothing much in Blind's basement, although enough rupees that Bonta is in very good shape. Kohrek, continuing his little detour, going to go ahead and give us a look at Bonk Rocks, and we have a blue cane.
There's some more bombs there for Bonta. He's feeling nice and explosive here. As Kohrek is going to head over to the eastern area with Sahasrara, completely skipping out on Kakariko. That's interesting.
Yeah, he might be feeling that he needs to make some big brain plays to eke out a win here. Making some early gambles, paying off with the red cane and the gloves.
Those are a couple nice pickups early. I'm not sure if it's going to help in any routing at this very moment, but it does put things like Zora in logic.
Yep, not the most useful thing until more rupees come into play, but...
Just 10 arrows on Sick Kid.
And Kohrek heading into Eastern, not a bad play. It is a full clearable crystal dungeon, not all in logic with no lamp, but...
Hey look, there's a sword in the back of tavern. Alright, we can check out what's on library. And we'll pick that up, because that's a moon pearl.
So that's 2/3 of Dark World access split between our two runners.
Nice spin speed there for Bonta as he's going to go check out the race game and save and quit from there. Just a piece of heart. Small shield here in the Eastern Palace for Kohrek. As Bonta looks like he is going to head east.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see when Kohrek makes his way back around to the village area. That's going to be crucial, picking up that beautiful round moon pearl.
Now, I'm not an expert, but I imagine maybe he didn't have all of his, consumables that he would have liked. So he's just routing in Eastern first, maybe following that bow a little bit, just to see if he could have a bit more of a fluid Kakariko check. Gonna pick up the compass there in the big chest, and we're going to kill Armos Knights. Alright, so I would suspect both runners would be heading on down towards the rest of what we would call Sphere 1, checking out South Shore after Eastern Palace. I think the standard open, as you would say, standard seed, would result in a pretty similar 15-20 minutes here.
Yeah, that is definitely where the big check density is, so unless anybody's in the mood for some big gambles, that would seem to be, at least for Bonta, who's already been to the village area, that would certainly seem to be the next logical play for him. Kohrek I could see going either way, South Shore or village. Speaking of Kohrek, making short work of those Armos Knights and picking up the book, which does open up Desert Palace, that might affect things.
And we do have a fire source, so it is completely clearable, and it is a red crystal. Lots of value there.
True, although if Kohrek goes that way, unless he finds something nice in the dam, he would have to fight Lanmos with no sword. Not necessarily the worst fight in the world when you've got Fire Rod.
He's going to start at his house again, so that does appear that he's going to go south.
And as chat rightly points out, Kohrek does have a blue goo in his back pocket, so that landmo fight shouldn't cause him too much trouble.
Certainly very easy to hit flying worms with fire rods or arrows, isn't that right? These runners make things that I could never dream of doing look just simple as pie.
Oh, and speaking of swords, Kohrek's finding his first one in the dam, or rather just outside it.
A little bit of a soggy sword there. And he's going to take that west on to Desert Palace.
Not strictly necessary for what he needs to do next, but it's nice to have that comfort of knowing you don't need to burn consumables to kill enemies.
It's mitts on the ledge, as Kohrek is going to open up Desert Palace.
Bonta having just a little bit of trouble with the Armo script. He should be finishing that up and finding his own book in just a moment.
And chat points out rightly again, this would be 2 crystals before even stepping foot in Kakariko Village for Kohrek.
Definitely not the usual order of events.
Finding out, in fact, that desert was boots locked, but it didn't matter since we had such early boots in the Lost Woods. And Bonta's going on here down to the dam. We'll see if he follows in Kohrek's footsteps over the desert. That'll be an early master sword for Bonta. That's pretty nice.
It always feels good to have Master Sword before going into the Dark World.
Nothing of terrible note here in the right side of Desert Palace, so we're going to go check out the big chest. And just the map. So Landmo's got something for us.
And if Kohrek opts to go Kak Village after this, he will be able to go straight from there to Dark Village, which does feel nice to have that decision to skip the more standard early Kak play validated.
That's right, and with Fire Rod in hand, we could be looking at a very, very early 3rd crystal, if, based on a map check.
Well, with both Skullwoods and Thieves Town right there and both fully clearable, it's very likely that at least one will have a crystal, possibly both. So pretty early crystal-heavy seed, potentially.
We started in the dungeons of the castle, and we're just going to keep on in the dungeons here in Light and Dark World. Who needs overworld checks?
Well, if the seed's just going to keep serving up crystals, hard to be blamed to keep on taking them.
Alright, let's see how Kohrek handles this Landmillis fight. Down goes 1 and 2. Missed the third. Looking like a 3 cycle here.
Finishing off that third worm with a bow, just 20 bucks, but another crystal in the bank.
Yeah, I am interested if Kohrek is going to go check the rest of South Shore now. Well, first he's probably going to go do Agina, but I'm wondering if he's going to go to South Shore, if he's going to head on over to Kakariko / the Dark World. Old Man in a Cave, what do you got for us today?
A flute. Well, that's that would pull me towards the village, and it looks like Kohrek may be having the same thought here. That's the dream.
Yeah, I think so. What was I saying about a completely convenient Kakariko? Well, there you have it. Kohrek going to make his way from the south side.
Yep, he'll get to see that moon pearl early, and boy, will he feel good when he sees that.
Wow, that is such convenient routing for Kohrek. Don't have to make the up and down. Boots make it a little bit better, but still, picking up Merle on your way towards the Dark World portal. He says, "Yes, I'll take that. Thank you very much." And grabs his moon pearl.
Bonta making short work of those big green worms, picking up a crystal.
That was some god tier aim there by Bonta. And Bonta is not going to skip that Agina check. Going to pick up his flute. The right call.
That would be a tough skip to justify. You're right there. You're never going to be closer than you are right now. Let's go get that flute.
Makes all the sense in the world to me. Kohrek gonna clean up Kakariko here. And let's see what Bonta does. Wonder if he's gonna go activate that flute. He checks from his house. No, that it was from the sanctuary. So it looks like he's gonna go activate his flute. Probably gonna pair it with some other checks here. It looks like King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks. Some new checks coming up for Bonta here, so let's look for a piece of heart. As we free our fluty bird here.
And 21 minutes in, geez, Kohrek has Mire access. Well, Mire area access. No medallions quite yet.
Yeah, no mirror though. Can't quite check all of the Mire accessible locations. Bonta go check up and see. He's gonna find that shovel on Lumberjack Ledge, and I wonder what he's gonna think about that.
Oh, and it looks like Bonta might be going to give us a nice ped check.
Survey says couch cash.
Sorry, chat.
I mean, what more can you ask for than the possible necessity of Aghanim for shovel? Ped would be just too much. Kohrek is going to head into the Dark World here. I imagine he's going to go up to Mothula. Green pendant on Moth, a red crystal on Palace of Darkness, and another crystal on T-Rock. I'm sorry, pendant on T-Rock. So Mothula, even though it is a pendant, is still a little bit more value with that green pendant turned in. And the ever-looming pendant TR is sitting there, Ben. What do you think about pendant TR?
You know, this is one of those situations where you're actually happy not to have any medallions. Like, please, don't make me make that decision quite yet. Let me see what the rest of the seed has to offer before I have to worry about that.
And with the new logic here in V31, the big key in the pinball room, and Kohrek is locked out. He's going to have to wait for the Wallmaster.
Yep, so far the front of Skull Woods has been pretty dry. We'll see if this big chest changes that. It does not, with only a small key.
Go check out the back, it looks like. Bonta finding out the same. Alright, easy cane usage for Kohrek to get back to the back of the Gibdo and statue room. Find the map.
Which means both of our two Skull Woods items are sitting in the back. One on Moth, one on that entrance chest. And with the green pendant on Moth, giving this essentially 3 checks, that makes it a pretty easy decision for Kohrek to head on back and go ahead and full clear this dungeon.
No, our runners are world class, but, 6 hearts going into Moth, even with the Blue Mail and Master Sword, it's no easy feat. I'm going to be looking for some good execution here on the Moth fight.
Yep, fortunately both of our runners do still have that blue goo safety, which will also reload their fire rod shots, very useful in the Moth fight. So I think it's less a matter of can they do it and more a matter of will they have to use resources to do so. But Kohrek giving that Moth no respect, just wading right in and getting that early damage in. Spike's giving him a little bit of trouble here. And yep, he's using that goo. He's done playing around.
Oh, Moth was very kind at the beginning of that fight, and very mean at the end, but Kohrek clutches it out.
Yep, didn't take any damage after burning that goo. Could have done it without it, but you don't want to take that gamble. You don't want to take a death on Moth here.
That would have been a clip for the ages. Alright, Kohrek is going to go and make the King's Tomb and the boots checks here.
Yep, meanwhile, Bonta finishing up his much more kindly Moth fight, picking up his own green pendant. We'll see where he opts to go after this, since he, I believe, has already done these boots checks. And yep, it looks like he's going to turn around and go back directly into Cack Village. Or Dark Village, rather, I should say. Meanwhile, Kohrek opting to skip Dark Village.
He's going to go turn in that green pendant right away, see if it was worth anything valuable. Because the rest of Skull Woods was nothing. Just 50 bucks.
Yep. Doesn't feel good when you full clear a pendant dungeon, all for nothing. Of course, we know that that did not put him behind since both of our runners made that same play.
And continuing to avoid Village of Outcast area. I did not see that medallion check. Kohrek flies into the mire area. Chat says Quake. There's a cape, but we know that it is not useful based upon Bonta's check of Bumper Cave Ledge, which was just 10 arrows. Bonta is a chest-turning fool. He's a fiend on it. Making it look easy. Gonna check out the bombable hut. While Kohrek flies up to save the old man. There's a piece of heart there for Bonta. Let's just remind our viewers where we are here. We got a completely just wide open seed to begin with, honestly. We've done... Kohrek did 2 crystals before visiting Kakariko Village. We've already completed 3 dungeons. Bonta's in his 4th right now. And we haven't even checked South Shore.
Yep, there's just been no reason to. There's always been a more attractive option on the table. And at this point, I don't see either of our runners heading down there until they run out of better options, or maybe if one of them pulls flippers and they can route it in with some flipper checks.
Yeah, that is true. They can water walk with the pearl and everything. As we're going to get a view of Spectacle Rock here, just a big 20. Kohrek going to flute away. And now he'll do South Shore.
Yeah, it seems like Kohrek might be putting off Thieves' Town, hoping to find a hammer and not have to orphan that item in the big chest. But Bonta says, heck, I'll orphan that item. I don't care, give me that crystal.
And I think if I've been counting correctly, there's only one more item left in Thieves' Town anyway, so that might be the right call.
Just a bug net for Kohrek's trouble in Mini Moldorm Cave.
There's the ice
ride. Oh, not what you want to see in a pendant TR seed.
Of course, pendant TR. There's your ice rod early. Never fails. And Kohrek is going to head on down into Village of Outcasts and Thieves' Town. That seems to be the most sensible play.
Yep, it's a crystal. It's 4 items. But before that, he's going to take a little detour and just confirm what we already know. There's nothing good in that bumper cave. Gonna have to turn around.
Also, if you're just now joining us, looming on the ledge of Lumberjack Cave is the shovel. So while Aghanim is not required for Dark World access, it could be required if something is behind that fetch quest.
I'm trying to think what could be hiding behind Aga 1 here. We haven't seen the flippers yet. Those will be logically required. Only hard required for Swamp Palace.
Bonta cutting through all these dungeon bosses like a hot knife through butter here, as he is on the 3rd stage of Blind, making it look easy. So I missed it. Was there an item in the big chest?
There was not. Yeah, you were in fact counting right. That ice rod was the final item in Thieves' Town.
Good, good. Alright, so we don't have to worry about orphaning that. As both of our runners are now converging at the digging game. Have a little bit of fun here with a shovel as they remind themselves of what Aga holds behind the lumberjack ledge. Several digs in now. Could be up to 30. Goodness gracious. This has got to be annoying. Just a piece of heart.
Yep, that's a lot of digging for not much love.
Now Bonta going to head back in. Looks like he's going to pick up the Smiths, as will Kohrek. They're going to do a little southern loop. No access to the cave south of Grove, as Stumpy has just a heart container.
Kohrek committing to avoiding Thieves' Town until he has that hammer in hand.
With the flute, it's not too big of a deal just to wait. Although, if you wait too long, that hammer could be in a nasty place and you end up losing time checking for it. Alright, Hype Cave. What we got for us today? $50.
Look at this sink.
And that is a 0 out of 10. It may be negative. Alright. Bonta is going to turn in the Smiths along with Kohrek. Let's see what they're cooking up today. Just a big 20. Ben, I'm feeling the momentum of the seed slowing down just a little bit. How are you feeling in this mid-game?
Yeah. This is where it's just a big question mark. Where's that progression hiding? Chat pointing out Kohrek does have Zora money, and if that's where our progression's hiding, that could be a big play.
So we're going to check out Ice Ride Cave first. If those crabs will cooperate as Bonta clears out Mini Moldorm. Just a piece of heart. So I think he's going to set up, the water walk here. It is a good point. With that bow, we can get into pod and clear it out.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's not all in logic with no lamp, but with some. Ooh,
you need the hammer to clear it out.
Yeah.
That's the big rip for Kohrek, messing up his water walk there.
Yeah, but he's dedicated. He's heading back in with a fake flipper.
That is right. So our access to pod is gated behind that hammer right now, or a possible Aghanim kill.
Kohrek finding his red mail in the fairy fountain and heading on to talk to a big, expensive fish.
Not a very good ROI there from Zora.
Nope, I've purchased lottery tickets that paid off better than that.
Well, Ben, if you're purchasing $500 lottery tickets, I want to hang out with you more.
What can I say? I like to live dangerous.
And I guess really, without that lamp, we're still not in logic for Aghanim anyway. This is a bit of a perplexing seed here. I wonder what the next logical call is.
I mean, at this point, do you just throw logic out the window, fake flip into Ice Palace, and hope? What do you even do?
Alright, let's check out what we need for go mode. So we'll need a hook shot and a mirror for swamp. Need that hammer as well. The flippers, we're still quite a few items away here. After a blistering start to the seed, we have become a little bit choked.
Yeah. Purple chest, I believe, is still in the mix. Neither of our runners have checked that.
Well, it's good for Kohrek. He's right here to go check it out after Thieves Town completion. Bonta probably gonna head that way soon as well as his item locations dwindle. Oof, and Bonta with not enough rupees for Zora. Even though we know it is not a required item for the seed, he is going to leave it unchecked.
Yeah, that's one of those things that weighs on your mind as your better options get narrowed down one by one.
Alright, so we just saw it. Chat was talking about it. Bonta picked up a fairy in a bottle. So I think what we are calling is a fairy revival for Pod. As he's going to learn that Sahasrara has nothing for him after that green pendant turned in. So I think we're going to try and see a sequence broken Pod without the hammer here, or the flippers. Goodness gracious. Nope, he's going to check out Mire first. He was just prepping himself. He's going to go ahead and check all these item locations before having to resort to such measures.
Kohrek heading into his blind fight. That'll get him a crystal, but no progression.
I think our runners are both going to pick up this purple chest and see what secrets it might hold. And from there, that should be progression. We are running out of locations, really.
Yeah. Fortunately, just about any progression other than the lamp opens up a whole lot more item checks. Hookshot would get us Eastside Death Mountain. Hammer would get us any number of things. Eastside Dark World. Mirror would get us into Tower of Hera. Heck, Mirror would get us into... Well, no, we'd need Mirror and Flippers for Swamp Palace.
Alright, this all-important purple chest turn in. Unless we were missing something, it has to be a required item here. It's the mirror.
And that is probably the most puzzling item we could have found there, because that pulls you in a few different directions. But it looks like Bonta's going for the Hera play.
Alright, so independent Hera we go. We'll get the ether tablet check. Oh, and a good point there. Mirror on purple chest means we could not double it up with the Bombos tablet check. There's a nasty deadlock on that bridge.
Yeah, very rude placement.
Just a big 20 on ether tablet.
So we've got 2 checks here in Hera. We know that Ped's dead, so that pendant's not worth anything. But there's the hammer. There's the real progression. That's what we want to see.
Alright. Stop. It is hammer time. That means a lot for these runners.
Kohrek taking that on into East Death Mountain. We'll see if Bonta follows suit or heads elsewhere with it. Well, he's also making the East Death Mountain play. Probably the smart play. You want to limit your mountain climbs as much as you can. Would prefer not to come back here later.
It is important to note as well that we have left one item in Tower of Hera in case it comes up for a certain item hunt. Bombos required to open T-Rock. Alright, nothing in Spiral Cave and nothing in the Super Bunny Cave. So Bonta's going to head over to Dark Death Mountain as well. And Mirror makes this whole section of the mountain a lot easier to route.
Yeah, always very nice not to have to worry about getting all your Light World checks out of the way before hopping into a portal. And being able to mirror glitch through some of those blocks, that's just icing on the cake.
Alright, 5 more checks here in Paradox. Just some rupees right now. Into more rupees. A shield and more rupees. Well, that was a bit of a zonk. Alright, Bonta gonna climb back up. We can check the first chest of Hookshot Cave as well, so that could hold something for us. And Spike Cave is in Logic as well. And it'd be just plain mean, though, if we get the Hammer and Hera and East and Dark Death Mountain turn up with zilch.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you've got to think. It's not like my opponent's gonna skip this. This is the obvious play coming right out of Hera, so at least I haven't lost any time with all these dry checks. Most likely.
Hey, there is Silver Arrows in Hookshot Cave. Looks like Bonta's going to set up a hover attempt here in Hookshot. Looks like he's going to commit to a couple tries here. Let's see if he can get it.
Kohrek making the same attempt here. We'll see if he has more success than Bonta's had so far.
I think it becomes a matter of how many attempts makes it worth it to try this hover.
Well, Bonta pieced out after, I think, 3 falls by my count.
Kohrek with some practice warm-up there, and he's going to piece out after 3 as well. Alright, both runners thinking the same thing, that they might be able to sequence break 3 extra checks there, but not to be, as we're going to get a spike cave check now. It's a tough trick, folks.
Our runner's still neck and neck. Let's see where Bonta goes from here. Pod's full clearable and mostly in logic. But it looks like he's headed south instead. Oh no, changes his mind, pulls out the flute.
It's quicker to flute over to 5. Alright, what does the Palace of Darkness hold for us today? We're looking for... You know, if it was me, I'd say I was looking for those flippers, really. Still have that... if we found... The only thing we find here is the lamp. Oh, good lord, what is behind that shovel?
Yeah, we're definitely at a point where the last thing our runners want to see is that lamp. The flippers would get 6 items from Swamp Palace, 3 from Ice Palace, and 2 crystals. That would be the big find right now.
We're looking for those flips. Let's see our checks here in Palace of Darkness. Just a small key, not bow locked.
Bonta really wants to make that hovering pay off for him, but it is just not happening today.
I've heard that is a significantly harder hover to pull off as well.
It's all magic to me.
Alright. Big key in its vanilla location. And I'm going to drop down. So that means that none of Pod was truly bow locked. As far as completion of the dungeon is concerned, we will get to see a couple of item checks here. Check number 1 is a small key. Not surprising here in Pod. And the mushroom. Alright, so as Bonta heads to the back of Palace of Darkness here, let's do a little bit of a race reset. We started off just at a white-hot pace. We got a very open seed to start with, and we kind of got choked down to a mirror in the purple chest. And after that, we went up the mountain to find the hammer in Hera, and you see us taking that hammer now to Pod, where both of our runners are pretty closely matched here. Both have 3 crystals and that green pendant from Skullwiz, which was nothing. So they are neck and neck, and providing a lot of good entertainment here.
Yep, 54 minutes in, and it has just been an incredibly close race so far. The mild leads going back and forth a couple of times, but largely just a really tight run.
Bonta making his way through the dark maze here.
Both of our runners heading through 2 different dark rooms at the same time. Kohrek making short work of 4 of those dark turtles.
Holy cow! In the dark, 4 turtles at once? Holy moly. That's skill. And now we've got the Helmasaur King fight. I believe that is 17 hits to Helmasaur's helmet, I guess you call it. And a few arrow shots afterwards.
Or in this case, just the one, thanks to silver arrows.
Oh, thank you very much. Forgot we had silvers. Just the map on Helmasaur King.
Yep, and with Bonta having found a big 20 in the harmless Hellway, that has Pod coming up pretty dry, but it's a crystal, gonna have to do it anyway.
Yeah, you can't feel too bad about full clearing a crystal dungeon early. Well, early-ish. We've got our mirror checks left to go here after Pod. There's the cave south of the Grove and the Graveyard Ledge.
Yep, and with Pod being the second red crystal that both of our runners have found, that opens up Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, that would be a nice inclusion in with a pyramid check, and I guess you could take it all the way up to Catfish if you wanted to. And checkerboard as well, since we have done everything else in that mire area, except go into mire itself.
Yeah, which we're not going to be able to do until that Quake medallion rears its head.
Bonta with the B strats in the Dark Terrapin room. Gotta love it. Having a little bit of trouble tracking those turtles down.
Yeah, this is one of the rougher rooms in the dark if you get off script even a little. And Bonta, with no magic to his name, wasn't even able to pull out the fire rod to light that torch, but it looks like he has made his way through it.
There is another check that we have neglected. That is our mushroom turn-in. And without the powder, but we do have cane, that means we could do a fake powder in the Magic Bat Cave. So we do have a few overworld checks now to clean up after clearing out Pod by both runners, and we'll see where Kohrek heads next.
Jumping into the Dark World portal here, I think about the only place he could be headed is maybe that tablet check.
Looks like it. You might come back up towards Cave 45 or the cave south of the Grove.
Yeah, not a bad play at all, because after checking those two, that puts him pretty close to the bomb shop, and up towards those pyramid checks, could mirror out and turn in Mushroom on the way up to Catfish. Lots of possibilities here.
Our hunt for progression continues after Bombo's tablet comes up with nothing but rupees.
And it looks like Bonta making the same play. After some early divergence, looks like our runners staying pretty close in lockstep here with Kohrek with just the slightest of leads.
I think both these runners feel this seed's been, pretty linear, so they're probably feeling they are feeling the heat of a close execution race here. Kohrek gonna head back and pick up the big bomb. Let's see what 2 items we could find at Pyramid Ferry, along with Pyramid Ledge, and then wherever our runners choose to go after that.
Yeah, continuing that route north is pretty tempting, considering that they have that mushroom, and anytime you can route literally anything else with Catfish, it's such an out-of-the-way check. It's nice to have some extra value heading in that direction.
Alright, we're going to see attempted bomb dupe. Both of our runners having a little bit of trouble with this in the last race. And looks like Kohrek got it no problem. So Ben, you would not fake powder in that instance? You would turn in the shroom? Just want to know your preference.
In this particular situation, I think I would definitely turn in that shroom. That fake powder takes you so far out of your way, and there's the flippers. There's our progression. Kohrek finding it in the Fat Fairy.
That is a whole lot of checks now that open up for us. That's really good for both of these runners, and we are off to the races with those flippers.
Yep, Kohrek opting to continue this route north. We'll see if Bonta does the same thing, or if those flippers pull him south, potentially towards Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this could be an interesting divergence here, depending on Bonta's call. Bonta's gonna mirror out immediately, it looks like. Nope, he's heading over to Mushroom, it looks like.
I suppose I see Bonta pulling out his mirror. One could make the play to mirror out after Catfish and take the portal down to Ice Palace, which is a full clearable crystal dungeon with those flippers in play.
That's true, and Bonta also has not turned 500 rupees into 20 at Zora yet, so he could be looking to put all those checks together. As Kohrek is gonna go up to Catfish and not isolate that check. We are looking for just a couple more items here for go mode, so every check matters. And that is just what Kohrek is going to do. He's going to take that portal down to Ice Palace, it looks like.
Yep, Ice Palace and Swamp, 2 of those dungeons that you would really prefer to go mode if possible. Could be Could be an interesting point of divergence if our runners decide to go to opposite choices there. We shall see.
Looking like a hobo check here for Kohrek. He did not do that in his earlier set of fake flipper checks. So we'll see what the hobo... I think Bonta checked that out and it was just some rupees.
Not even rupees plural, just a single green dollar sign.
Yeah, hobo tipped him for his time, it looked like. Yeah, and chat pointing out ice is a safer dive right now without that hook shot. A hook shotless swamp. That's not the most sensible of plays. Could be the right one, but it's just not the most reasonable right now.
Yep, and it looks like both our runners agree with that assessment. Ice Palace can be logically hookshot locked, but with a couple of bomb jumps that should be no problem for our experienced runners, you can still full clear it and get that crystal.
Alright, both of our runners are in their 5th crystal dungeon. After this, it'll be just Swamp Palace and Misery Mire. We are still looking for Quake and the hook shot. And is that our go mode after that?
I believe so. Well, no worries about turning in that mushroom because there's the powder in that first chest in ice.
Alright, Ben, you're clearing out Ice Palace here as one of these runners. You have the enviable position of being either Bonta or Kohrek, a skilled runner at Link to the Past Randomizer. You're clearing out Ice Palace. What are your thoughts as you're making this full clear here?
You know, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said these guys have to be feeling like they're pretty close to each other. It seems like neither of them have been making any crazy gambles since the seed decided to get linear. I think you just gotta buckle down and focus on execution and rely on that to get you through.
And really, I mean, I guess the only gamble, you know, quote-unquote gamble available right now would be a hook-shotless swamp. There's not really too much gambling that is available to our runners anyway. I guess you consider overworld checks before crystal dungeons. That could be a small gamble.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple of orphan checks. There's that one check still sitting there in Tower of Hera. I don't think we've seen Graveyard Ledge from either of our runners, but yeah, most of those overworld locations are so few and far between at this point. Like, when you've got a full clearable ice in front of you, are you really gonna mirror and flute out to village and check bat? I wouldn't.
Yeah, what you're saying makes sense here. As Kohrek's going to make our next check in Ice Palace for the compass.
I think the only thing that might be weighing on my mind at this point really is that orphaned Hera check. If either of our runners has it in their head that maybe the other guy checked that and it wound up being something significant.
Yeah, that would be... That is our one true orphan. That would be crazy if if our big progression is in Hera.
Bonta showing off some nice tech, clipping through the stairs there for the quick descent.
Oh, it's just so pretty. Small key in the big chest. So we're gonna go down and fight some eye puffs now. I think so.
Well, seems like both of our runners are gonna go ahead and check iced tea first.
Yeah, forgot we hadn't checked iced tea. Makes a lot of sense. Don't want to leave anything like that behind. That would just be unfortunate.
Yeah, for the time you spend going to check it, think of the time you lose if that winds up being significant. But it is only that last small key.
Key logic in Ice Palace sometimes just disturbs me if I try to go into the depths to figure it out. So I'm going to leave that to the professionals here. I'm just going to watch these racers run their race.
I have definitely gotten myself into trouble in races trying to figure out, wait, was Ice Palace hookshot locked? Should I be worrying about this right now? What's even going on?
Alright,
Yeah.
Master Sword, Cold Stare.
Kohrek making it look easy, making those puffs sit in the corner like bad little boys. They get away from him a little bit as he pulls out his hammer.
Oh, Bonta just picking up some time there with execution on Cold Stare. Great fights on both of our runners. Bonta just a little bit better, a little hair faster. And we are neck and neck as we leave Ice Palace. So we have 5 crystals in hand. Got a few overworld checks to do. We still need that Quake Medallion and Hookshot to be in go mode. And if you are just tuning in, we have a shovel on Lumberjack Cave Ledge. So we do not know if we need to kill Aghanim or not.
Yep, but until the lamp rears its head, it's kind of an academic question.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And just a little bit of divergence here after quite a long sequence of sinks here as Bonta goes to checkerboard. I'm not sure where Kohrek's headed. Graveyard Ledge, possibly.
And hammer pegs.
Hammer pegs, that's right. Just bombs and checkerboard.
Yeah, the Thieves Town big chest was not checked, but it is empty. We got all the items out of Thieves Town. Oh, there's our Quake.
Well, that's another crystal in play. Not quite in logic without the lamp, but 2 item checks in Meyer. Looks like Bonta's right on his heels heading towards that progression. As Kohrek says, I'm here, I've got this powder. Let's see what our friend the Bat has for us.
So the Smith and Purple Chest area here, paying off with a couple of key items. Let's see what Magic Bat has. We are cursed with Bombos. Oh no! That's T-Rock access. That might be a literal curse, Ben.
Well, I think Kohrek's making the right play here. If you've got a crystal in hand, let's go get it. But after that's done, that's the next big question. Turtle. He's going to go ahead and peek at some bombs and checkerboard first.
This race is so close, it's wild. Bonta gonna go back to the Dark World. I think he's heading up the Graveyard Ledge. That would be a divergence here. As Kohrek opens up Quake.
So we've got the fabled hookshot go mode here today. And there's just no place that hookshot can be that wouldn't be at least a little rough. I mean, it could be hiding in swamp, it could be hiding in turtle. It's not hiding in Graveyard Ledge.
That's nothing for Bonta, so he's going to be just a few seconds behind Kohrek here. As I imagine he's fluting down to Mire, which he is. So he's going to open that dungeon up as we follow Kohrek through Mire. Just a small key there, as he's going to head up to the bridge chest. And another small key, so not a Godmire.
For once, no Godmire when you need to full clear it. Now, the real feels bad would be if a runner gets all the way through Turtle Rock looking for that hook shot. You come out of there, and you gotta think, Hera's right here.
Oh no, need to think. That is a hook shot. Ben, I think that puts us in... Is that a go mode?
I believe that is, in fact, go mode. And these runners are still super close. It's going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to GT big key placement. That is a 1 hour and 16-minute go mode, and what a great race we have had here today.
The only thing separating these two runners at the moment is Bonta took time to check Graveyard Ledge, really, when they were synced up after the Batcave check. So we're going to get a Vitreous kill, and then a go mode swamp, and then it's up to Ganon's Tower. So we should be pretty fast seed here.
Kohrek making one of the trickier dark rooms in the game look easy. Taking a couple of hits here, but he's got red mail, he's got plenty of safeties, and that Vitreous is going to be cake with silver arrows.
And there he activates the crystal switch in the dark. All right. Well, I think both these runners, they feel like this is super linear. With the possibility of that T-Rock dive, but you're not going to do T-Rock before Misery Mire, so still super linear. And I think they're feeling the heat. I think think it's just neck and neck in both their minds and on our screens here. As we head into the Vitreous fight, Kohrek using those silvers to good advantage. Oh, what a beauty. And down goes Vitreous. That's crystal number 6. Kohrek with the crystal at 118.44. And we'll get a check on Bonta here when he clears Vitreous. Bonta using spooky action to gain a little bit of time there. He is going to pick up a few seconds there. He's going to gain on Kohrek.
Yep, and those little edges are going to make all the difference if you can just pile up 1 or 2 more little advantages like that. He could take the lead before we even get to Seed Ganon's tower.
Alright, we're going into our 7th crystal dungeon. That would be Swamp Palace. It is a go mode, so we are not going to have to worry about any extraneous checks. Only thing that could make this better is a tempered along the way. Looks like just 33-second lead for Kohrek as he enters into Swamp Palace.
Yep, at this point, we've got a Master Sword Argus fight coming up, barring any checks between here and there, which I don't anticipate our runners doing. That's time spent in what they have to feel is a pretty close race for a very slight chance of getting that tempered. And sure enough, Kohrek beelining his way down, not going even the slightest bit out of his way.
Yeah, it makes sense, and we need to remind our viewers that Kohrek is down a game. This was his seed to choose. He chose standard. He wanted that execution-based start. I think he wants the execution-based finish here. He's putting it all on his shoulders to win this fairly linear seed. The stress has got to be mounting for both these runners here, as it is a tight one, and they have to know it. I do wonder if they're going to go down and check those flooded chests, those 2 at the bottom. I don't think I would here. You just know it's so close. Every second's going to count.
Yeah, you can see an argument for opening up the waterfall chest. That doesn't take that much time. Don't have to spend a screen transition even. But it's hard to justify pretty much any other check between here and Argus.
That was a fancy hook shot by Bonta. That was a long shot. Just a heart container in the waterfall chest. Chat talking about it. Where is our lamp, Ben? Is that in Hera?
Well, Chet seems to think so, and I don't have any better ideas, so I'm gonna say, yeah, probably Hera.
Alright, we got Argus. Doing double pulls here with Master Sword. Alright, he's got 4 down.
Yep, making those double pull spins look easier than they are. That's one of those strats that looks easy peasy, but it's trickier than you'd think.
I mean, basically that's the theme of this game. Things can look a lot more deceiving than they are. Missing that silver arrow. Uh-oh. I got away from him for just a second, but down goes Argus.
That'll be another opportunity for Bonta to pick up just a little bit of time here in this ultra-close race.
There's a screen fade at 123.28, so we'll see what Bonta gets here. All right, we've got 7 crystals. Ben, explain what we're doing now here in chat.
Well, there's really just one more item left to find, and that is the GT Big Key. There are 22 spots where it might be hiding. Get your guesses in right now. Do you have any guesses for the folks at home today, Hagmania?
Let's go Bob's chest. I don't know what number that might be, but let's just go say Bob has it.
Well, I like my big keys the way I like my women. And if you're looking at chat, you know what that means. Legal.
I'm gonna no comment that and let Kohrek open up GT. Alright, so we're opening up Ganon's Tower. Let's get Ganon's Tower. Let's get a time difference here. Bonking on his way past the Lionels. Kohrek opens up GT at 125.10, when the crystals started spinning.
Bonta having just a little bit of trouble with those Lionels. They're not nice to you when you only have Master Sword.
He is exactly 30 seconds behind as Kohrek heads left, picks up a small key on the torch. And gonna continue left here. Checks 2 and 3, nothing, but number 4 is our big key. So, Bonta heading right, unfortunately, but he's going to grab a tempered. Oh my god. Oh, if he goes full right here, is he really going to... Oh, Bonta making a tile room gamble. That seems crazy to me.
Well, that's a question for interview, because that's a play that you make when you're feeling behind.
And I guess the only way he would feel behind is because he did a couple of extra overworld checks. We're gonna have to ask him. Maybe it's just the bias of last seed, the big key was on the tile room, so maybe that was weighing in his mind just a little bit, but he's going to head left now, and he is going to pick up his big key. So let me get a timer check here past the cannonball room. That's 127.15, Kohrek heading up those stairs. So we'll get a check on Bonta as he heads up.
Kohrek just flying through the gauntlet. Reading that enemy movement just beautifully.
Alright, so Bonta's mirror on right side after tile room is going to bail him out of doing a full right first, and he is going to head up the gauntlet. We'll get a timing on him. The last I checked was at the cannonball room, so we'll do that then. Kohrek flying past into land mode 2. Got silvers in hand. 1, 2, and 3. Land mode 2 down. Cleaning up these Wizrobe rooms, making it look easy. And that is just shy of 90 seconds for Bonta. That is his deficit right now. He's going to have to make up a lot of time with that Tempered Sword. Not sure if it's going to be enough. Oh, Kohrek missing a torchlight. And you think he's feeling it, Ben?
You know, I think after two back-to-back races, I think the fatigue can set in just a little bit. Especially with how tense this second one has been.
That's right, folks. This is a double header where Kohrek lost the first game, and he has about a 90-second lead into our second game here.
Bonta also getting the nice, clean, one-cycle Silver Arrows Landmo fight.
Gotta make use of that powder, and there's our ether.
Yep, Kohrek spending a little bit of time hoping to find that tempered here. And that would be a pretty big find if he found it on that last sword on Validation Chest.
Oh, Moldorm, be nice to us, please. Alright, there he goes. Yes, the difference, chat, is that Bonta found the sword in Hope Room before gambling on Tile Room 3rd check, then mirroring out to left and finding the big key in the Stalfos Room. Alright, Kohrek heading into Aghanim 2. Let's see how good his geometry is. Is that a triple? A triple-double?
Yep.
Russell Westbrook in the house. Oh, there he goes.
Look at that
3, 2,
nice,
1.
polite lineup.
Kohrek is handling this near flawlessly. He needed that execution to win this game, and he is going to get it so long as this Ganon fight goes to plan. Ben, we have a big pig to kill.
Yep, let's see that pig. Bonta picked up just a little bit of time with a slightly faster Moldorm fight, but the execution on Aga 2 is going to make a difference here.
Kohrek using clean strats.
Yep. Bonta getting that same triple, and then a 3-1-2 instead of a 3-2-1, equivalent Aga fight. It's going to come down to Ganon execution. Very much Kohrek's race to lose, but it is so close, anything could still happen.
Bonta has picked up a few seconds here in this tower climb. I think a lot of it was due to that Moldorm fight. Getting low, Kohrek gonna pop his blue goo as he's waiting for these fire bats. Alright, be nice to us, Ganon.
Yep, Kohrek making full use of his arsenal here.
Oh my gosh, this race is so close! Ah!
Bonta getting in between those bats and doing those nice dash poke strats, and he is in the second phase. Third phase, rather.
These Ganon warps are gotta be killing Kohrek.
Alright, final phase for Kohrek. Bonta coming up close behind.
Alright, he's got a single. Can he get... Alright, so there's arrow number 2. 2 arrow shots per lane. Setting up the double. That's a GG for Kohrek.
Oh, that is beautiful. What a race here, folks.
With an official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 43 seconds, Kohrek has won race number 2. Bonta is going to finish up just behind him with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 55 seconds. What a race! Just 12 seconds between these runners.
It doesn't get much closer to that than that without being a literal tie. That is amazing. And these two runners will be playing a Game 3 tiebreaker round to finish out this match. Incredible.
You know, I think we have Kohrek waiting to chat with us here. But before we bring them on, let's just remind everyone, please go follow these runners. They are incredible gamers here, putting on quite the clinic. It's Kohrek and Bonta. Give them a follow. They deserve it.
They put on a wonderful show for us here, and I am super interested to hear Kohrek's thoughts on such an amazing race.
Holy cow. That ran me out of breath there at the end. What a close race.
My heart was in my throat. It was tough to commentate just because I couldn't tear my eyes away enough to compose my thoughts.
And we are joined by our race winner, Kohrek. Welcome in, and GG, sir.
Thank you, GG.
Kohrek, so we didn't get an interview after race 1 because it's a doubleheader. So unfortunately, you lost race 1, and you chose standard mode for your setting change in race 2. What is your thought in a standard open there?
I think standard is just a more fun mode for the basic randomizer because it's actually like kind of counterintuitive, but I feel like standard gives you more options when you start because yes, you have to do the escape sequence, but then you typically get a few resources and items, and then it makes your option it gives you more good options to choose from rather than just open where you're just okay, let's go to Kakariko.
Yep, I hear you. And I mean, you guys were talking in chat there, but just 12 seconds being the determination between you two runners here. What's going through your mind in the middle of this fairly linear seed? Did you always feel that it was pretty close, or did you ever feel behind?
I couldn't really think of any way this wouldn't end up being very close. There are things you obviously could have skipped. You didn't need to go kill Moth, but I know Bonta would have probably done the same thing with last locationing Purple Chest Mirror. So, and then from that point, it was, just go to Hera, grab the hammer, and just full clear, essentially. So you could skip things, but it was not... it was not that easy to do so, so I felt like it was probably pretty close.
Yeah, the decision-making between the two of you was very, very similar almost all the way through. We had a good 5 minutes straight of almost perfect sync between the two of you. It was an incredible race.
Yeah, I mean, Bonta is a great player. He's also one of my good friends of the community, so I'm just glad that we can put on a good show for y'all, and meeting in the first round of brackets is, because I could see both of us going really far if it was some other order, but at the same time, having good matches all the way through the brackets is great for everybody. So I'm sure it was good. I would love to watch it back, and it should be an exciting game 3 too.
Yeah, that's right. Both of you came into the group stages as one seeds, but unfortunately, you falling down to the loser side that opened up this matchup as a possibility here in the bracket stage. I guess you know you said Bonta's a good friend with you in the community. Do you have any expectations for what he might be choosing for race number 3 here?
Well, I already chose standard. He might keep it the same, honestly, but we'll have to see. If I had to guess, he'll keep it the same, but who knows? Maybe they'll throw something.
I see Bonta in chat saying, "Suck it to enjoy a fast Ganon." Well,
But Bonta, you always forget that it's fast Ganon. So if you want to do that, that's fine with me, dude.
well, at least you can't gamble on Tile Room, third check, and GT if it is fast Ganon.
That's true.
I guess there was one thing that I wanted to pop back. It's not too big of a deal, but it was back in race 1. Did you think there was a turning point in that race, or I guess we may have talked about it in chat a little bit. Did you not realize the logically locked bow behind the mitts, or sorry, logically locked mitts behind the bow there?
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. To be completely honest, like that's normally something I would have, been on top of. But I've been a little bit rusty. I haven't really played a lot of ALTTP over the past couple months outside of the qualifiers. So, that was just rust showing up in a very unfortunate way. I think that would be my best explanation. But it's good on Bonta for picking up on it right away and making the right call.
Sure, but you commended yourself quite well here in race 2. Picking it up when you needed to and executing towards the end there. I'm sure you discussed it. Bonta had that tempered sword advantage going through the gauntlet and on Ganon himself. He was bearing down on you, but you stuck to your guns and you executed, and it's a well-deserved win for you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any thoughts here as we're going to be closing down this race and heading on to the next ones here this afternoon? Any thoughts for you, Kohrek?
I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers and everybody out there watching, and can't wait for Game 3.
Well, a GG to you, sir. We are very, very much anxiously awaiting Game 3 between Kohrek and Bonta. To be determining who moves on to the next stage of the brackets. Ben, do you have any final thoughts on this race?
Just big thanks to both of our talented runners, and thanks to everybody at Speed Gaming who makes this happen, our lovely trackers, our restreamers. It takes an army to put this show on, and I am so grateful to be able to be here with you guys here today.
Well, I think that's going to do it here. I want to shout out our tracker doing all the hard work behind the scenes here, Roland Tankir. I want to thank Ben Creighton for commentating with me. It was my getting back in the saddle again for me. I felt a bit rusty, but I felt like we did a pretty good job there, Ben. Thank you so much for guiding me through it. I want to thank chat, all of our viewers. I want to thank the runners. I want to thank Speed Gaming. And, I just can't wait for more Randomizer. Good luck and have fun, all.